Welcome to another episode of Bluff City Grub. Today I'm going to show you one of my favorite recipes to cook.
We're going to be giving you our tips for a juicy, fast smoked pork chop. Stay tuned.
You looking at the camera?
I don't know. Greg's going to be doing smoked pork chops for you today. I didn't personally buy the meat. I'm the cheap one out of the group, but he's cooking Duroc Pork Chops. He spent a little extra money, something I wouldn't spend. I know it's going to turn out to be a better product. Tell us a little more about why you picked Duroc Pork Chops, Greg.
So I cook pork chops all the time. Typically, I brine the pork chops. They come out really good. But when it comes down to Duroc, the marbling, the breed of hog, it's second to none. It's going to hold up to the smoke really well. It's got a really clean and nice flavor to it.
Yeah, Greg, I'm glad you brought that up about Duroc Pork Chops. I know it's a better quality meat, got a lot more fat in it, going to come out juicy, got a clean taste. I personally haven't had them yet. I've had your pork chops, they're good, but I'm excited to see if Duroc makes your pork chops great.
Cutting your pork chops with a spoon. That's what we're doing today, cutting pork chops with a spoon.
You got a sharp spoon? All right, Greg, let's go ahead and get these Duroc pork chops sliced up.
So we got these from the K. Rogers, which is Kroger. Sometimes you can always get these pre-cut. They were not pre-cut when I got them, so we're going to go ahead and slice them up. Separate the bones, go right down the middle. Just go right down the middle here. All right, so we have our Duroc chops here. We have a little bit of basic barbecue rubs or Bluff City rub. You can see that in the description below. We'll show you how to make that. We also have a little bit of brown sugar, kosher salt, butter, fresh herbs, and then we're going to be cooking with cherry today. We're going to brine our pork chops. It's going to help these pork chops retain a little bit of moisture through the cooking process. We got our pork chops in a bag here. What we're going to do is we're going to take our salt, and we'll show you how much salt to use in the description below. We'll put that in some hot water. We're going to mix that up really good. We're going to pour that over our pork chops. And then we're going to take our remaining water, put that in there as well.
Hey, Greg, I noticed you used cold water there for the second mix. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, we don't want the pork chops to cook off in the hot water. So we're going to let these pork chops hang out for about 2 hours in this brine. Then we'll pull them out, pat them dry, and get them on the smoker. We went on and melted our butter. We got about a cup of butter here. And what we're going to do is we're going to combine our ingredients. We have a rub. We're going to put about 3/4 of our rub in there, save a little bit back for pork chops. Then we're going to put our brown sugar in as well. We want to add a shot of bourbon to it. Wasn't in my original recipe, but Joe pulled some out, and I thought it tastes pretty good in there. So we're going to add that in there as well. And then we got some fresh herbs. We got some thyme, and we also have some rosemary. Fresh herbs in there. Can't have a video with me without using some fresh herbs. Good whisk up there. Mix that really good. All right, pork chops have been brining for about 2 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and pull these guys out.
Pat it dry?
Yeah, we're gonna blot them dry with a paper towel.
Blot them.
All right, we got a few more pork chops that we brine. We're gonna go ahead and get those blotted dry as well. Wife said she's on the way, so I had to get some more. All right, so I told you I hold back a little bit of rub to put on the pork chops. But what I normally do is I take an old shaker, this one says garlic powder over there, and I dump my rub in here, and I use that to shake on my meat. Just give these a light coat of rub. We're just gonna hit both sides of them real lightly, and we're gonna get them on the Weber. All right, so our Weber kettle is already heated up. We're gonna shoot for a temperature about 300 degrees, but we got a couple pieces of cherry wood. We'll throw those right over the coals. We're gonna let those get charred, and then we're gonna put our meat on. It's just gonna add a little bit of smoke flavor to the smoked pork chops that we're cooking today. Right. Got some smoke rolling out this bad boy now. Wood's nice and charred. Added 1 or 2 more briquettes in there to keep the heat of the fire up. So we're shooting for around 300. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay our pork chops on the far side of the grill. We're doing these indirect, but hot. On the far side of the grill, away from the fire. All right, so we got a fire on this side, our pork chops on this side. You want to make sure your lid on your Weber where your the damper is on the opposite side of the fire, so the smoke has the opportunity to roll across the meat. You don't want it to just go up and out. We're gonna let these roll for about 20 minutes. They haven't been quite 20 minutes yet, but I can't resist, man. Layers of flavor while I'm cooking. I have to add a layer of flavor to the pork chops. Let these things finish cooking off. All right, let's go ahead and check our pork chops. It's been about 20 minutes, and they are starting to look really good color. Do a little temperature check on here. And so you want to get your pork chops around 125 right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our butter glaze that we made earlier, and we're just going to put a little bit on the top of these pork chops here. And this is going to add another layer of flavor to the pork chops, of course, and give them a really good color. We're going to take our pork chops here, and we're going to move them over direct heat for about 3 to 5 minutes, and we're going to rotate some out. So when you put that lid on, you put them over direct heat, close your vent off a little bit. It's going to put the fire out, and it's also going to create more smoke. It's going to get trapped in that butter sauce and add another layer of flavor to your pork chops. About 5 minutes over the open flame. We're going to move these guys out and get our last 2 pork chops on. Temperature's still really good on the pork chops. Not overcooked, maybe this little guy is, but that's going to my son, so it's still going to be tender and juicy. Got 2 more pork chops right over here. Get a direct sear on it. I'm going to add 1 more layer of flavor, just because I want to. I'm going to baste them 1 more time. Flare up there, you put some butter on right over there. Alright, another 5 minutes. Pork chops spin over the flame. Move these guys off. These pork chops are pretty much done. The whole cook should take around about 30 minutes or so. I mean, you can flip your pork chops if you like, as long as the pork chops are cooked through, they're pretty good. If you want to get char on the other side, it's really not necessary. Me, I like to take more butter, baste it a little bit, layers of flavor, baby. But they look good and they're ready to come off. All right, so we got our pork chops off the grill. They're looking delicious. I didn't tell you while we were taking them off. You probably want to pull these guys around like 138, 140. You got a little bit of latent heat. It'll come up to about 145. That's the temperature you want to eat these pork chops at. But I'm just going to hit these with 1 more layer of flavor before I slice into these guys. And then a little bit more of our glaze right there on top. Let's cut into one of these bad boys and see what we're working with. Oh man, cuts through so easy. Look at that. Look at that. Glistening.